So, just an ordinary, there's a road 3 miles up from the nearest town, and then the easiest path in the world onto these utterly underwhelming hills. It's even worse here than the coastal path. Moth and Rainer's path. Everybody that comes down here, all got fitness equipment, special backpacks. It's all. Now, that might sound like, oh my God, you're bitter. But this last week, you see, it's actually been interesting. I mean, here we have seemingly the biggest use of ordnance in the Middle East over a week, possibly ever, probably ever. Never mind battleships being torpedoed. And you see, you really realise here. Now, the only piece of clothing I have on that's worth, all of it, a couple of quid from charity shops, except for my pumps, which were left. Somebody had actually left them in the car park there on a very, very rainy day about 4 or 5 months ago. And these are definitely £100 pumps. Good for me. But you realise what it's about is because it's actually just, it's hardly worth bothering, but attempting the odd conversation with one or two seemingly more sort of wholesome people that I just am slightly acquainted with. None of them want to talk about it. Now you can sit there and say, oh, Ulstarstan is just playing this we are not amused game. But, you know, what's the reality of this country, but particularly the Southwest, is that, I mean, I do believe, I haven't actually Googled it, I was going to recently, that the Saudi Sovereign Wealth Fund, or whatever it is, actually funds the women's, or sponsors the women's, British women's football team. Now here's the thing, we've known for decades that, never mind just the still dependence on fossil fuels, but 10, maybe 20, I bet you it's closer to 30% of the total money that goes through these aisles in some way or another has something to do with the Middle East. Which, of course, nowadays, I mean, I was listening to the Radio 4 thing, Any Answers, it's just unbelievable. You know, you have this posh private school families. First one calls in, oh my God, it's so terrible. My family's at great risk because they're in Bahrain. And then we have an even worse version of this. We have, oh, my lovely, lovely husband or whatever has decided to stay in Beirut, Lebanon, because he's writing a book on the migration of the birds, but the rest of us, family and children, are leaving. Yeah, this is when you have, I think it's something like, well, you're 10 times more likely, no, let's be realistic, accurate, you're probably 100 times more likely to be killed in a car crash in Saudi Arabia, certainly Lebanon, Syria, probably even Bahrain, and what's the other one? UAE. And yet, like, they've all gone into kind of, what's that dreadful book, the Seashell book. I always forget what it is because it's so not one of them can say, read The Great. I mean, it's the astonishing book because it's by such a young man, Lermontov. Was it? Yeah, no, it was Lermontov. A Hero for Our Time. The most wonderful book of, oh my gosh, it's all just cant and vanity. And nobody can say that. But more importantly, no, actually, that's actually important. It is just all cant and vanity. Keep it all in proportion. I say as a complete and utter pacifist, or a 99.999% pacifist, but the point, nobody can say. It is the absolute, total guzzling of the raw materials of the Middle East, and then I can't remember if it's us or the Americans, profiting by the largest ever shipments of arms, bombs, aeroplanes, bomber aeroplanes to the Middle East. Our economy is entirely a big chunk of who any Briton is because of the Middle East. It's an astonishing thing. I mean, it is just like this whole nation's become princes. Literally become princes. And becoming a prince, being a prince, really, really warps you. Not one person says, just actually, we have a responsibility to try and figure something intelligent to say about Iran, which is the most complex, well, probably the most complex, difficult situation in the Middle East for all sorts of reasons, religion, tribal rivalries, etc., etc., etc. Furthermore, they don't actually have a regime, they have a system. It's actually quite, listening to quite a good talk on this, quite a good chap. But here's the point. It's not about Trump. It's like not one person thinks that we, as a people, have the smallest responsibility in at least trying to make some mature adult statements about really what to do, what blah 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 blah. But that's the astonishing thing. This country is just a country of the great majority, just bourgeois. As long as they can afford their status vehicle to come up here and show, or this region to come and show off, their status walking clothing and fancy ribbed jackets, or fancy backpacks, or fancy this. And all they ever talk about is buying property or their travel arrangements. It's just the ultimate vacuosity. The end. Right.